Welcome to the Snap UK podcast. Only the second attempt at today's intro. This is the 8th annual Paul Farrow LSD-fueled Nightmare Selection Meeting. This year, 2 rounds of. Famed for projecting such stars as Kiki Kuti and Will Greer, amongst others, Paul and my colleagues John, Gary and Jim will be attempting to provide us an insight into this year's draft while sticking to what they think each team should do if they were the GM.
Should probably repeat that several times just to make sure people catch. This isn't what we think is going to happen. This is what we would do.
Yeah, everyone
Joe
does what
Milton
they
III.
think is going to happen. Yeah.
Just to qualify, we are not anywhere near being good enough to be a general manager in the NFL.
Well, some of it as well isn't just what we think should happen, it's just what we find funny as well. So there is a real mixture in this.
I feel like the Pats are going to get screwed over.
I don't know who decided to give me the 49ers with 2 49ers fans.
It's randomly done randomly.
Yeah, very brave. Excuse me. This year is the closest we've ever got to the draft where every team owns their own first round selection. Last time anything changed this late, or before this even, was 1993 with the Joe Montana trade. So if anything happens now, it will be setting some sort of record. It looks like everyone's going to hold their own, which probably happens around this table as well. Without further ado...
Get off the stage, you tiny little man.
Without further ado, John Farrow, you are GM of the Titans and on the clock.
I've lost my pen.
Brilliant. This is not school. Back to school today. John's gone without his pen.
Excellent stuff.
I think we all know what the Titans are going to do, right?
Yeah, but he's literally had an hour to write that card
I
out.
know. but in reality, they're going to take Cam Ward because their quarterback isn't a quarterback.
Yeah, he's some sort of mayonnaise-eating freak.
Hey, he eats bananas with the skin on. Leave him alone.
So I'm going to take the quarterback.
Yeah. So with the first selection in the 2025 Snap UK draft, Paul takes Cam Ward.
No, he doesn't.
John takes Cam Ward. Quarterback, Miami. This is what's going to happen. From now, I feel like this could get somewhat out of hand. Jim, you are on the clock with the second pick for the Browns. In reality, I have no idea what the Browns are going to do. I know what they think they should do.
I don't think the Browns do either.
Does anyone think they shouldn't take either Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter?
I can see Shadeur ending there. I really can.
I just don't see it. I'm sure the Browns know they can't keep making the mistakes they make every third year. Surely.
They should probably take Carter, so they'll probably take Hunter and ruin him.
I think they're going to wait for Kirk for quarterback.
But what are they going to do at the second pick?
I think they'll take Carter or Hunter. But yeah, I think they're waiting for...
The second pick is in. With the second pick in the 2025 Snap UK draft, I'm not going to keep repeating that every time, by the way. The Browns do indeed take Travis Hunter, wide receiver from Colorado, wide receiver and cornerback.
I listed him as wide receiver just because I think he's mainly going to play wide receiver and a little bit of cornerback rather than fully cornerback.
I think that's what they need to do with him. He's said...
And no doubt they will play him all of the time.
At this rate, he's playing quarterback.
That's exactly what I'm saying. They're going to take him and break him.
Paul, you are on the clock with the third pick for the Giants.
I do agree with what you said there. In that, they're going to whoever they take, they're probably going to ruin.
The third pick is in. I like this part of the draft. This is the bit where everyone's board is still their own, and it is Abdul Carter, edge rusher to the New York Giants from Penis State, apparently.
Sorry, Penn State.
Oh,
I must have made an error.
You slipped. Your penis slipped, did it?
He did. Didn't think it worked anymore.
How is it?
Run out of ink in it.
So far, I think we could be 3 of 3.
Yep.
I think we're doing all right. So, before we get to the fourth pick, our first trade to announce. Woo!
Oh yeah, baby.
The Miami Dolphins have moved up to the fourth pick. They have traded the 13th pick, a 4th and 5th round pick, and Jalen Ramsey to the Patriots to move up to number 4.
Yeah, I'm dumping salary because I don't know if you know this. The Dolphins are really fucked.
But this is a very unlikely trade, as we know, into division. But I think if the Patriots could get this sort of value and that sort of experience at cornerback.
Imagine
which is a hard
Ramsey
place.
and Gonzalez.
Under Vrabel as well. He's 30 years old, Jalen Ramsey. The 13th and then the 4th and 5th rounder. That is huge value for that move up. So, to me, no-brainer. Patriots have got loads of gaps to fill, haven't they? So, he's still
they're not
picking in
one
the
player
top half of the first round.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you do it?
Yep. So that puts the Dolphins on the clock. John. The 4th pick of the draft.
Don't know.
John takes Ahmad Membu.
Fucker!
Offensive tackle of Missouri. Is this for you the best offensive lineman in the draft, John?
He's the best right tackle, which you have to remember with Tua, he's left-handed. He needs a right
Oh,
tackle.
look at this. Actual insight.
Actual needs
Actual
it.
insight, yeah.
I do think if they don't move, Mambu goes. I think this is what they need to protect their little quarterback.
Yeah. I think I'll be amazed if... So Zach Wilson is now the backup, isn't he?
Yeah.
Well, apparently it's Abu from The Simpsons, according to John.
Zach
That's an
Wilson...
accident. I'll just say he's
Zach,
tiny, isn't
Zach
he?
Wilson is
He's
the backup.
wee.
I'm moving on.
Have you seen how wee Tua is?
I knew things were going to fall apart at number 4. At number 5, the second trade is in.
For God's sake.
The Jags trade pick 5 to the Bears for picks number 10 and 39 in the draft. And the Bears are now in. They are on the clock. And we are over to you, Jim.
Yeah, so you talk amongst yourselves.
Oh, brilliant.
I'm being bloody blindsided here.
Well, I did try and tell you the only one who hadn't approached me with any trades.
Well, it's only when we remembered tonight that we don't actually have to agree trades with Griff unless we trade with ourselves. That was always the rules. So
It
we
was.
normally surprise him on the night. We normally fuck with
it's
him.
true. There's been no surprises so far. I don't know if you're planning anything else.
You only have to go through Griff if you trade with one of your own teams. I only remembered tonight when I saw him, I was like, we normally fuck with you with this because he's like, oh, and on the clock is this. And we go, no, it's not. Ruined all our fun tonight.
The 5th pick is in. Or sixth? No, 5th pick.
Fifth, yeah.
Well, you've written 6th on
That's
it.
because,
You've
Probably got the sixth
screwing
as
with
well.
my day. The 5th pick. Oh, I think it's exactly what could happen in reality. At the player, at least. Not necessarily the
No, I
trade.
don't think he'll be there, but yeah. right.
The 5th pick is Ashton Genty, running back, Boise State. For me, the overall best player in the draft. The one fastest to turn around a franchise. Now, I'll tell you, I hope the Patriots take him at 4. We need O-line help, but oh my God. Ashton Genty, because that is Vrabel's answer to where's my Derrick Henry.
Yeah, absolutely. But also, like the Bears, they've got Ben Johnson in there now. He's got history doing things with the Lions with 2 running backs. He's now got 2 quality running backs and a good offensive line as well.
I was toying not doing this one because I said to Jim, I think the most exciting combination for this is Ashton Genty and Liam Cohen.
Yep. The least inspired thing ever.
But I hate the Jags, so I was quite happy to take
I played on that.
take a trade down.
The ceiling for Genty is Derrick Henry. The floor for Genty is Leonard Fournette.
It's not terrible.
It's not terrible, but it's not what you want this high up in the draft. Right. The 6th pick is also a trade.
I ain't writing stuff up. I'm writing the team. What I'm writing is the team.
The Bengals move up to the 6th in exchange for picks 17 and 37 and Trey Hendrickson thrown in as well.
So the Raiders.
To the Raiders.
Yeah, the Raiders get Trey Hendrickson and they move down to
So that's a defense that's now going to have Trey Hendrickson and
Max Crosby.
And the Bengals have got no defense left at all.
So
We're just going for Kevin Keegan of NFL.
The theory behind this, as I explained to John, was the Bengals haven't got the money to pay Trey Hendrickson. So they either keep him for a year, lose him, or they move up, get the best edge player in the draft, and they got him for another 5 years.
John, you are indeed on the clock here. I'm assuming, having made this trade, you know exactly who you're taking, because otherwise that would be reckless.
I forgot about this one.
With the 6th pick in the Snap UK draft,
Will Howard.
The Bengals take Mason Graham, defensive tackle, Michigan.
Yeah, good pick. Good pick. Solid pick.
Yeah, it feels like the fans wouldn't like it.
No.
But actually, it may be what the team need because they won't hold on to Hendrickson.
They need to do the lines, the Bengals. But yeah, just take the best line player.
When we get to the end of this season, does anyone think that the Bengals might have to start looking for a quarterback? I've got this horrible feeling Joe Burrow's going to go full Carson Palmer.
I think he's got what he wants, though, in that he's keeping T. Higgins and he's keeping...
Yeah, but when he gets
Chase.
beaten into the ground again...
Yeah, but he's not going to go to the Raiders.
No one would do that anymore. So, the Jets are on the clock at number 7. Paul!
No trade.
No trade. Paul, it's over to you.
Are we sure there's no trade? You want to
There's
mess with me
definitely
anymore?
no trade.
I've written it out.
Now, what do you think the Jets need?
So, what I thought with the Jets was they have no starting right tackle. I don't like the Jets, so I haven't got right tackle. But if you've got Justin Fields, you need weapons, and I don't think they're in a great place with that. So I've made a selection which I feel would remedy that, as well as bring in some degree of blocking.
The number 7 pick for the New York Jets is tight end Tyler Warren from Penn State. I like it. I see exactly what you're seeing with Justin Fields. I don't think there's a chance Warren goes quite this high.
I don't know.
I've seen him going to...
To the Jets. You reckon? Ahead of Loveland.
Yeah.
I like Loveland.
I like Loveland as well, but I think Tyler Warren probably just shades it out in terms of quality. But it's 6 of one, half dozen the other.
In a lot of the rankings, Tyler Warren's basically in the top 5
I
players.
will say, I like Loveland, but when I was writing out what I thought would happen, I actually wrote Warren. So there you go. Shows you what I was thinking when I wrote this down. It was quite late at night. So the number 8 pick is on the clock. Gary, you are the Panthers. We know they need lots of help on defence. They could always use more weapons. They have now got their answer under centre, right? We're all happy that Bryce Young is going to be the answer now.
I think the second half of the season shows he's probably...
The progress was massive, right?
Progress is massive. He convinces you enough that you're going to go with him for next year at least.
Yeah, you've got to hand him some weapons and start letting him play with the big boys.
But you also need a lot on defence in this side. I think that's one of the areas that really let them down last year. They obviously lost Brian Burns to the Giants the year before, so getting some edge help is important. But even in the backfield, safety, cornerback are both areas that Carolina could use help.
There's a lot
Gary's
of
looking very
hardcore
tense.
concentration
Yeah,
going
he's
on to
looking
my
very-
right-hand side
He's
here.
looking very tense, isn't he? No Saunders yet. Yeah.
I was just looking up there on our big board, and do you know what? The only out-of-place player for me that I think's gone early is Membu, and that's because it's the Dolphins.
Yeah.
I don't think he goes that early if it's right-handed quarterbacks.
He would have gone 7 if he hadn't been picked.
You'd have had him, would you?
I'd have had him to the Jets, yeah.
With the 8th pick, Gary takes Jahdae Barron, cornerback
from
for
Texas.
Texas. Again, something that the Panthers definitely need is help on defence. I don't mind it at all.
It's very difficult, I think, to find good quality cornerbacks. We see it across the league now. They're hard to pay. I think if you're in a position to take one of the top cornerbacks and you need help on defence, I think it's hard for them to go out there and pick one up, I think.
John Farrow, you are on the clock.
He's
for
scribbling.
number 9.
You can pick up like linemen
are the
and stuff,
Saints.
can't you?
Yeah.
Things move around, but cornerbacks, they're expensive to pick up, aren't they?
They are the
That's the
good
thing.
ones.
The good ones,
They're
so-
few and far between as well. Like, apart from Patrick Surtain, what are the other cornerbacks which are like not Hall of Fame worthy, but the guys you can leave on an island? I think there's only Patrick Surtain at the moment.
So I thought he was the best. It was kind of between him and Will Johnson. I was kind of torn between the two.
The drawback to taking a cornerback this high is Jeff Okudah,
Yeah. Well,
who we all thought was going to be an island, and he's more of a sort of lonely island. He's just, it's a bit poor. What's he on, his 3rd team now, Jeff Okudah?
he's a bust, isn't he? So
I believe
You
so.
bastard.
as well.
With the number 9 pick, the New Orleans Saints take Kelvin Banks, offensive tackle, Texas.
Wow, okay.
That is not what I thought you were going to do at all.
No.
What do you think he was going to do?
I thought he was going to take a quarterback.
Yeah, I did as well.
I might see what goes on. But yeah, they've got to replace Ramchick. And so you can't do it in free agency. You've got to take the draft.
Remarkably smart.
I agree. I like it, but I just don't know who the quarterback's going to be. Because if it's Spencer Rattler, I don't think it matters.
I did say to Jim, I might go. I was going to just channel Mickey Lubis and just do the most dumb thing I could think of, but I didn't.
The Jags are on the clock.
John again.
See, when you do these trades,
Fucks up the system.
it does fuck up the system. The 10th pick is on the clock. Yeah, I can see building and replacing Ramczyk is absolutely necessary. I think in reality, if the Saints are there, I think that's where Shador lands.
No, I don't. I think this is defensive lineman. I think you've put Shador there, he's just going to get destroyed. So what's the point?
I agree.
So I like what John's done, but they've got holes all over that team. It's a shit team.
Saints or Steelers, that's where he's going. The 10th pick is in. It's Jalen Walker, edge from Georgia. Suddenly the defence for the Jags looking tasty, John.
He's typing away on his keyboard, so I'll talk. But yeah, this looks good. Oh, he's
trying to bring back Saxonville.
And Blake Bortles.
Yeah.
Why not?
God, yeah, please.
Can we just point out that at this time in their careers, Blake Bortles was infinitely more successful than Trevor Lawrence? Just saying.
Yeah, but that...
Infinitely.
In that he had any success.
Yes.
You're comparing those rosters like their equivalent when you're comparing, ice cream to cow pat.
Who said it was the best Jags roster that there's ever been?
A man who's
guy
very
got
quietly
sacked.
become quiet.
No, you're going to get sacked, is he?
No, it's the owner.
He sacked the
the
guy
owner.
that
It was the
put
owner.
together.
With the 11th pick, the Niners are on the clock. Paul, this is you.
Hello.
Hi there. Yeah, so far, I reckon all of these are players that could go in the top 15. I don't think there's any huge surprises there. I think Ashton Genty's the one that people are saying could drop as far as 10.
No,
And
bullshit.
I just can't see it.
I don't see him making it past the Raiders if the
So-
Raiders do stay there.
So many teams are just going to take the best player available. And, the Raiders had the worst rushing. Who do they have? Matteson and you.
Matteson and Amir Abdullah.
Amir Abdullah,
Yeah.
drafted in 2012. He can't fall. I just can't see it.
Absolutely not.
Right, thank you, Paul.
A lot rushing
Pick
on
is
this.
in.
Am I going to like this
With
pick?
the 11th pick in the Snap UK podcast draft, it's edge rusher Mike Green.
From the Marshall Thundering Turd.
From the Marshall Thundering Turd. Thank you. Yes, I hadn't got that far.
Don't hate it.
I just felt a guy with his intangibles. I see Salah falling in love with him. And you've been having
Your
these players
defence
come
is
in.
shredded.
Absolutely. I mean, you could pick pretty much any position in the defense or on the offensive line, and it would probably be okay. And the only thing against Mike Green is probably a couple of character concerns, but he gets production.
Yeah, and he's
Yeah,
got
there
a
are
locker room.
there are
Yeah.
several
Yeah,
edge players.
absolutely.
Edge players all up and down this draft who've got character concerns.
It was literally a coin toss in my head for him or Michael.
Also, you tend to get a rush on the good, productive edge players, and now we have 3 off the board.
Yeah, and you can't. I mean, look what the Eagles did. You can't have too many defensive linemen. Like you've got Nick Bosa on one side, and if Mike Green does live up to his potential,
Gary is on the clock with
Yeah,
the 12th pick for the Cowboys.
That's why I'm filling in a bit because
The
it takes a
Niners
while.
have had Chase Young and various other
It's not worked
Yeah.
really.
Gary's pick is in. That then puts the Patriots on the
Me
clock.
again, so if you can all talk.
Yeah, we're there.
We will. So, the Cowboys, the Dallas Stars select Michigan cornerback Will Johnson at number 12.
That's a really good pick.
I don't hate it at all.
I've seen him go to the Niners and lots.
Who are you playing him alongside? Trayvon Diggs? Yeah, that's a good
That's a Trayvon
cornerback
Diggs who's
pick.
coming off a bad injury as
Yeah.
well. So that might be
is,
replacing.
Will Johnson's coming off an injury as well, and that's probably what's hit his
Who's-
draft stock slightly. He's probably, if he is fit through 2024, he'd probably be certainly
Who's
a top
the
10
other
player.
Cowboys cornerback? Trayvon Diggs.
Darren Bland.
Darren Bland. Yes, if you can rotate those 3 around the 2 positions, that's some excellent defence.
It's a shame that you'll be seeing a lot of them because they have no O-line.
Yeah, I was going to say it won't make any difference once Dak goes down injured again. But
When Joe Milton's having to run for 900 yards a game.
does anyone else think that this feels like the year that the Cowboys are going to try and do something silly in the draft to stay relevant and in the press?
So you're saying Sanders?
I don't know. I just feel like they might be the team.
There's a connection there with his dad.
But they also might be the team that on the day try and move up just to take, I don't know, again, Genty. Like, they need something there.
They would massively benefit from Genty.
And
I would have had them having I've seen a lot of mocks where they take a Marion Hampton from North Carolina.
I don't hate this, Gary, I will say. This is the Patriots now at 13, having traded earlier for Jalen Ramsey and some random
So
picks.
let's hit Dame for a herd.
The Boston Red Sox, according to Gary, take wide receiver Ted McMillan. And I like that. McMillan, Diggs, Mac Hollins, and Demario Douglas is a lot better than the shower, basically us five that we had on the roster last year.
Well, look, you need like some help in defence, but you definitely need more weapons. Your offence was just tepid last year, wasn't it? So like wide receiver was booty last year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Diggs is
He's
an
about to be
aging.
traded.
Yeah.
He's an aging Diggs, isn't he? You know,
Yeah.
he hasn't been the same for 2 years. So I think why not take a flyer on the best wide receiver in the draft outside of Hunter, if you're calling him a wide receiver or a cornerback.
Yes.
Outside of that,
The out and out wide receiver.
out
is
and
Ted
out,
McMillan.
I think you're going to be saying it's McMillan, so or Golden. So it's out of those two. I'd rather have McMillan.
Jim, you are on the clock with the Colts.
I know.
I've seen McMillan being compared to AJ Green.
I think there's a very good chance that he is the most productive out-and-out wide receiver out of the class if Hunter gets overplayed by whichever team is using him. In reality, the Patriots aren't going out this first round without an O-lineman. They just won't. I just can't see it happening.
I don't think they'll do that move.
But I like what you have done
Yeah.
in our world.
Yeah, because
Now the
obviously-
Patriots just got two studs. They got Ramsey and McMillan.
Well, and not being funny, obviously we're going to do round 2 this year, and the Patriots have got the 38th pick, obviously as well in round 2, so they've got opportunity potentially to. We're probably going to have a break at some point to see if people want to make future trades, but
Well, we will break after pick 16, halfway through the first round. Now, sometimes a player's going to get wasted. And here is a player that's going to get wasted. For me, the best O-lineman in the draft, Will Campbell, goes to the Colts. And he's going to be protecting Daniel Jones most of the season, and it feels like a waste.
Which is why the Colts need a decent left tackle.
Sure.
I thought he was going to go to the Patriots for sure. I thought I was about to call Gary a genius for trading down and still getting the same player he should have taken at pick number 4. But he's taken Tate McMillan. And I do like McMillan. I think he's going to be a good player. So the Colts tight end is the traditional pick.
Excuse me, Jim.
Will Campbell's
Paul,
there.
you are on the clock with the Falcons at number 15.
Tight end would have been the pick, but Will Campbell's there, and he's too good to let drop any further.
I feel like this is a point I can address here. So, do you know what percentile he is in for arm length?
Yeah, it's very short.
The 0% of...
The Farrow grade.
Yeah.
He's about an inch, 2 inches too short.
So his arm length is shorter than not only most tackles, but guards and centers. He has. It's. I feel like
Does he have to have someone else hold his willy when he wins?
Exactly. Yeah. he just lets it go. But the guy's got talent, but I do worry in a traits league that having short arms is going to be really.
It's what held you back from being an NFL star.
Exactly. Yeah. No. When I went to the Ooze Valley Bastards, they were like, "You can't be O-line. You got 2 short arms." And I was like, "Whoa." I think you'll find.
See, John doesn't put hats on his head. He just throws them up in the air and hope they land in the right place.
And you're
They
going
don't do.
You're going to need long pockets to have Daniel Jones in them for the season, aren't you?
With the number 15 pick, the Falcons take Michael Williams, edge from Georgia. I like it.
He is hybrid. He can play on the D-line or edge. He's 6'5". He's been in a big program.
It's everything the Falcons need.
And he's just a freak of a man.
Perfect pick. Yeah.
I really like that, Paul. Really like that. Gary, you are the 16th pick before our break.
Ooh,
Oh, the pick is already
straight
in. Really?
Yeah.
This one is me throwing a little
the
grenade.
Arizona Cardinals, or Diamondbacks, as Gary has written here, take Shadur Sanders, quarterback, Colorado, because someone's finally listening to the fact that Kyler is not that good.
Well, I think the thing is, it's not the coach's quarterback. It's not the ownership's quarterback. And pressure needs applying to Murray. So, and I think then at the end of this season or through this season, you can make a decision if you need to. So I know that is a very left field pick, and I don't think the Cardinals will go with the intention of doing that because I don't think he will be there. But actually, like, Murray is talented, but he is not showing anywhere near enough consistency over a number of years now. So I just think...
I rate everything you've said.
It's a
there.
really strange pick, I get that. And they do have lots of other needs, and there's still some good defensive players on there. But take a punt if that...
But also, outside of Cam Ward, every quarterback in this draft needs a year to sit.
Yeah.
I don't hate this. Gentlemen, before we plough on into the second half of the first round...
I just do want to pick one thing out from last year's draft.
Yeah. Gary took a quarterback for the Cardinals.
Gary took a quarterback.
It's because Kyler's been... Who did he take last year?
Michael Penix Jr.
That would have been a good pick for the same reason. Where's the pressure on the little
Do you
twat?
remember when you and I could never find common ground? But Kyler Murray is not that good.
Well, like I say, I think he's got talent at baseball, probably. But honestly, I just think they need to have...
I like it.
Some pressure on him.
I
know it's very random, and I don't think he'll be there at 16. I think he'll go in the top 10 because somebody will panic and take a quarterback. But if not, middle of the first round pick, you haven't got the best of anything. Why not take the second best quarterback in the draft? You've got options, haven't you?
Imagine
what injured Kyler Murray.
Imagine what they could get in a trade for Kyler Murray.
Yes, that's what I mean.
Yeah, absolutely.
So draft him now and then trade away Murray to the Saints or something.
I don't hate it. Right, I'm bringing the first half of the first round to a brief close. And now we begin the second of the first round selections, second group. And we do this with Jim, and Jim for the first three picks of the second part of the first
You
round.
loser, who'd put the load of picks in a row?
And when we get to a second round, John's got 5 of 6 to try and do live. Excellent stuff. 6 of 7. Wow. You don't even know that many players, especially in the second round. But you regret suggesting this now, you two, don't you? Okay.
Nope.
With the 17th pick in the first round, the Raiders are on the clock. They have needs at, everywhere, because it's the Raiders.
Yeah.
And what are Pete Carroll and crew going to do in reality?
I don't know, he's had fucking half time to think about it. He's written it down.
I wrote down a position. I just didn't write down a player. I didn't want you sneaking a look. What are we going to do?
Oh, the 17th pick then for the Raiders is running back Amarian Hampton.
Oh, you bastard.
I like it.
I think that's a really smart pick.
Yeah, if they don't get Genty, they will go for
Traded
Hampton.
back and they picked up Hampton. I like that.
Yeah.
All for that. Right, this is the tricky one. 18.
The Seahawks are on the clock. They need O-line help. They need wide receiver help. They need help. Anything that's going to keep Sam Darnold upright is going to help their season.
I would say they also need help at wideout because
That's what I say. Yeah, they need that as well. Yeah,
they've lost Lockett. They've lost
Metcalf.
Yeah, Metcalf.
So we're trying to help Jim out here, but
So I got it. I'm just writing it down now.
Take a quarterback because Darnold will be concussed by half time of game one.
you shouldn't say that after what happened to Aaron Rodgers in his first stint with the Jets. It was the best 3 snaps I've ever seen.
Where his Achilles folded like pulled pork.
With the 18th pick in the Snap UK 2025 draft, O-lineman Josh Simmons goes to the Seahawks. Ooh, I like that.
I was going to go defensive tackle, just because Seahawks just value defensive line a lot. But then I realised, who they got a quarterback.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Hey,
he's
hey
gonna
Jim,
need help.
less talking, more drafting.
Oh no, this one's better. I know this one.
The Bucks are on the clock.
No, they're not.
They're not. It's the Chargers.
The Chargers are on the clock.
So the Chargers have traded with the Bucks.
They did.
So Chargers moved up. What's the pick?
Chargers
19.
moved up to 19 from 22. The Bucks down to 22, and a third round selection thrown in as well.
Couldn't risk a Jim Harbaugh favourite not being on the board.
Colston Loveland, tight end. I think everything will help Justin Herbert continue to take steps forward. Has anyone else been underwhelmed by the results of the Chargers, as opposed to just Herbert, but the results of the Chargers so far? Because I think they took okay steps, but I feel like I wanted to see a bit more.
I like Najee Harris as a pickup for running back. I think that fits in well with what Harbaugh's want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Then you add in Loveland, who is probably slightly leaner, but it gives them Herbert another big weapon to add to throw to. Let's not forget Harbaugh got a lot out of Vernon Davis at tight end.
Who doesn't love a big weapon?
He's also worked with him at Michigan.
How is your mum?
Thumbs up from John.
Why is she getting that? No.
Yeah, I didn't want Loveland to slip past. I felt, who was it? I thought Tampa might take someone.
Well,
I thought Denver might
The
take
Broncos
him.
are now on the clock
Yeah.
with Gary. They also need offensive help.
I've seen them taking a running back in a lot of drafts.
Yeah.
And let's see what the Broncos have done.
The Broncos, the pick is in, and it's Nolan. Oh, it's Nolan, is it?
Nolan,
Yeah. The Denver Nuggets. Why with all of the basketball references and the MLB
Baseball
references?
and
Yeah,
ice hockey,
nice,
like,
absolutely.
whatever you want. Like, just getting a bit bored of just
You
standard
would not
teams.
be able to call a team the Nuggets in the UK.
No,
was
it
confused.
seems unlikely.
Yeah.
You don't like it?
What's wrong with my Walter Nolan pick?
Just seemed an odd one. What they needed.
Well, I don't know. Like, I think he's fallen quite low, if I'm honest, on the board.
I mean,
and they do need.
He's
they
projected
need,
to be in and around the first round.
They do need stuff on the line. So, I think he's a good player. So
I don't doubt the player.
I don't think it's what they will do,
Yeah.
but I don't hate it.
he's a defensive coach, isn't he? Like Harbour will. I know we're going to
Sean
say.
Payton.
Oh yeah, Sean
John,
Payton.
we haven't heard enough from you yet, John, in this round. So you are on the clock with the Steelers.
Still looking at your Chargers.
This is for me where it gets interesting for us now, like because the Steelers they need
Desperately
they need
need a QB.
they need a running back, they need a wide receiver, they need a quarterback.
Yeah.
Did you think you were getting Shadur?
Shake of the head from John.
Shake of the head from John. They're always good.
Good on a podcast.
See, I like this. Matthew Goldman, wide receiver from the De Montfort Polytechnic, is pick number 21 for the Steelers. And you know what? The Steelers develop receivers really well.
Yeah, and I mean, I think we know who their quarterback's going to be, and
Do we though?
Do you think it's Aaron Rodgers?
I think it's Aaron Rodgers. And I think in the 12 games a season where the current wide out, whose name just escapes me, what's his name?
DJ Metcalf.
Pickens. When the 12 games a season where he's just picking fights with random blokes, I think you need more weapons. And I'm not a big Pickens fan. I don't think he gets a second contract at
Paul,
the Steelers.
the Bucks are on the clock. 22nd pick. I agree with you. I don't think Pickens has been that good. In fact, Pickett and Pickens together were pretty atrocious. And I don't think either one of them was worthy of where they were taken at the time. Oh, the pick is in for the Bucks. It's upside down. Let's correct that. With the 22nd pick, the Buccaneers take linebacker Jihad Campbell.
They need something off ball. You've got Levante David, who is older than hell.
You need somebody who would go to war for your team.
I'm not going to make such jokes.
I'd like to credit Gary with that one. It was his. But I did say I would say it.
I like the way you took out all the N-words when Gary put it in.
Absolutely, yeah. Do you know what? Again, I don't hate this at all. I don't know if he even slips this far.
Expected to go higher than that.
Yeah,
Definitely. He looks
absolutely,
like
yeah.
talent, to be fair.
Yeah, I really
Frustrated
like him.
you didn't read out the college.
I think the thing is, he's a linebacker.
Yes, there's a reason I chose to ignore that, Paul. Thank you very much.
Paul, you're on the clock again.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, the Green Bay Packers with the 23rd selection.
exactly who I'm taking.
Yeah, the linebackers tend to have become a cheat like a running back. So they don't. They have to be super.
But do you not think the running back position got a massive boost in the last few years with Henry and like what Saquon did last year? That's why I think you'll get 2 or 3 in the first round this year. And it's sort of the same with the linebackers. Like you say, they've been forgotten or relegated. But
well, it's like we had the Saquon, and then suddenly you had like Rashard Penny and all these losers, effectively.
Losers.
No, it's a fair point. It sets a trend, doesn't it?
Yeah, but now running backs suddenly become thing. And that last year, linebacker Zach Bowen, joins the Eagles. They become a good defense again. So.
Yeah, it's true. I don't think Campbell falls that far. Nah. Not in reality. Really can't see it. Paul, any progress on the Packers pick?
Yes.
Oh, there is progress on the Packers pick. That's proving tricky to say. With the 23rd pick, proving difficult to say, he says. The Green Bay Packers, Paul.
Oh, sorry, my mistake.
Take wide receiver Luther Burden III. Again, he's the best receiver left, I think.
So I was stuck between replacing Jair Alexander, who's probably going, but I just thought
fuck it.
They haven't got.
You just thought fuck it.
Yeah, they haven't got a star at wide out, and he's falling.
Well, they're all coming off injuries. Romeo Dobbs and Christian Watson are both coming off injuries, aren't they?
And also, this guy has character concerns, and I don't feel you could argue with LaFleur as a coach. He's one of the winningest coaches of all time, isn't he?
Yes, absolutely.
And he's shown he can do it without the darkness retreat, man.
Gary, the Vikes are on the clock.
He's searching. I like Burden. I think his draft stock has fallen off the back of a pretty average 2024 season, but actually his 2023 season was brilliant, and the QB thrown to him at Missouri last year was pretty terrible. So.
The 24th pick is in. The Minnesota Timberwolves take edge rusher James Pierce Jr.
Okay.
So, again, really good pass rusher. The Vikings are going to need to offload some expensive pieces on that defence eventually. I don't know if he'll be on the board at this point, if I'm honest. 24, I think he might have already gone as well. Edge rushers do tend to go quite early. I think he could go in the top 20. So, probably wasn't the top of my list to take, but he was there. So, you take the best player. The Vikings are a pretty set team, aren't they? Yeah. So, I think you just take the best.
I was just about to say, John, the Texans are on the clock.
Yes.
You need a lot of O-line help and ideally a wide receiver. So do what you can with your one pick.
Yeah,
you need a whole O-line for the Texans.
So if you could have a left tackle who could catch.
Declare the whole O-line eligible every week.
If you could have like a 6'8" Travis Hunter.
What's his catch radius like with his short arms? I mean, in reality, this is one of the landing points for Matthew Golden for me, the Texans.
No, they've got to go O-line all the way. There should be no debate.
It feels like it, but I think the best O-lines will already have gone, and Golden might not have done.
Who we got left? No, there's a few there. I mean, it's not just tackle that the Texans need. They need guards and they need centre. So all the tackles are gone. They could pick up the best guard or they could pick up the best centre at this point.
So the top of our guards list, Tyler Booker.
Yeah. I think Tyler Booker, I like Donovan Jackson.
I was going to say that. Donovan Jackson, for me, is the one.
Ended up playing tackle for a higher stake last year. And
you can move him around and it doesn't seem to change anything that he produces. Yeah. The 25th pick is in. Okay. John has gone O-line. He's I got thrown slightly because instead of telling me which college, he's just drawn a penis. So, thank you. It's Josh Connolly Jr. From Oregon.
Just the best tackle. I don't think it's a particularly good guard class for the first round. I think a lot of guards will go in the second. But, just take the best offensive lineman you've got because that fucking sucks.
I feel for CJ Stroud. I feel like he's going to take another step backwards if they're not careful. Last year, the hype going into the season around him was huge and just couldn't deliver. Didn't have a chance. The Rams are on the clock with the 26th pick. Jim, that's you. Rams need linebackers, cornerbacks. Well, most things really to keep their team rolling along. And for me, they're very lucky that they don't need a quarterback this year. But I suspect
Could
next
go
year.
there.
Yeah, well, again, so now I've got a name down that hasn't been taken yet. That if I would maybe go with if it was me, but I think this is one of the early landing spots for Jackson Dart in reality.
I'd say that's pretty safe call. Who's the name you've got? I've written my name down, so I'm not going to.
Egbuka. Oh, of course. It is indeed Egbuka, wide receiver for the Rams from Ohio State with the 26th pick.
Yeah, I think you've obviously lost Cooper Kupp. Yes, you brought Devontae Adams in, but he's only going to be there for a year, maybe 2
Is
years.
Devontae Adams...
He's older, isn't he?
Well, it's a bit like the Patriots bringing in Diggs.
Yeah.
You're not bringing in the same player, you're just bringing in the name.
Exactly. So you match up Puka Nakua with Egbuka. You've got, what's his face? Matt Stafford's still there, lobbing
For a year.
bombs. I think that...
Paul, by the way, you're on the clock with the Ravens.
I think that's now a really solid wide receiver unit. And yet you can pick up defensive help later on in the draft.
Yeah, I think a lot of teams are going to be thinking that. I was just going back to John's point about the guards. I agree. I think it's Tyler Booker and for me Donovan Jackson, and the rest aren't worthy of consideration in the first round. Not for me.
I disagree.
Of course you do. Oh, it's a bit of a left field one as well.
No. Right guard.
Right guard one. Paul has gone for, really, again, with the Baltimore name.
I wrote Ravens.
Did you?
Yes.
Is the R key stuck on your keyboard?
Correct.
Is it changed with the G by chance? Also, I love how you spelled Georgia as if it's Spanish. It's Tate Ratledge at number 27.
So, I don't
I love it when he goes, so. Fuck. It's the Kiki Cootie of the guard world.
I've had to do it a few times tonight, to be fair, with some of my
It's
picks.
the Kiki Cootie.
A guy who's been a 3-year starter at Georgia, been all SEC first team twice, isn't rated higher. A guy who came back after 4 games injured at the start of last college season and just made the Georgia offense look passable again. This is a stud player.
Can we clip that for this time next year, please?
Yeah, I've got it.
And also, part of my scouting research, part of what I did when I looked at players,
Yeah.
is college football, EA Sports college football. And they loved him at the start of this year.
I'm sure they did. Gary, you are on the clock with the Lions at number 28. What do we think the Lions need? I've got edge and O-line down. What have we got up on our big board?
Edge, surely. Edge would be fair. You got to get someone to play opposite Aiden Hutchinson. Like as soon as Hutchinson went down injured, that caused problems last year. But if you've got Hutchinson back and you can add a partnership on the other side, then the defense gets a lot better. And
Who's the best edge
Fulford
rusher
Inches
left on our board?
is on the clock.
All right. Probably Shamir Stewart. Like there's a lot of debate going on about do you take traits over production?
So is he the guy that's got like 5 sacks a year?
Yeah, he hasn't got the production, but he's got all the traits.
Obviously, Gary hasn't gone for that.
Obviously
no,
not.
he has. It's Shamar Stewart, edge rusher for the Red Wings, according to Gary from Texas A&M.
Do you know what? I was so close. I actually, the first time tonight, I've written something out and changed my mind because I was going to take a safety. And I was going to take Nick Aminwari.
Yeah, good safety.
So
safeties have fallen.
And they are a bit short at safety. And they did get run through a couple of times. So
Have we had any safeties go? so
no,
far?
the top safety is still on the board.
Yeah.
So I was between the top safety
I think
and a
you've
really
made the
good
right
edge.
choice. I think you've made the right choice.
Because I think if you can have him against the other side to Hutchinson and you can rotate him all right, it'd be okay. So
Gary, you know you're on the clock again with the Patriots, right?
yes.
At number 29, this was a trade. The Patriots trade back into the first round.
You sounded very
giving
convinced.
up the 38th pick, a 4th rounder, and Keyshawn Booty to the Commanders. So Gary doing good work to get the Patriots back in. Now, presumably, he's looking for O-line help because everyone's looking for O-line help. Whether it's a guard or a tackle, you know, at this point, the Patriots could do with any building blocks basically on the line. Ozzy Trapillo is a great name, but that's about it. The pick is in, though. And he's gone for... Yeah, see, I like this. Gray's able. Tackle guard.
Can do either.
Can play across the line for the
anywhere.
Boston Bruins. For North Dakota State. Yeah, I like it. A player that...
I'm just trying to test out your full American sports knowledge, Mike. But just
I'm not terrible.
No, you're not too bad.
No.
I wasn't sure you'd get the Timberwolves, but
I think the business that you've done with the Patriots, I will credit as being excellent. You've got Ramsey, you've got Tate McMillan, and now you've got Zabel. I think that's great business.
Yeah.
So far, if you were picking one team that's winning this draft, it's actually the Patriots in here.
Not the Ravens.
Well, I managed to get good value off the Dolphins, which I then reinvested with the same GM of a different team in John to get another good move. So I just picked my battles.
John's getting swindled, is what you're saying. Excellent stuff. The Bills are on the clock, Jim, with the 30th pick. We've nearly reached the end of the first round. Then we'll have a brief break before we sail quickly through the second round and you all scrabble for names.
I will be looking to trade out of the second round. If anyone wants to trade up.
Oh, the pick is in. With the 30th selection in the Snap UK 2025 draft, it is Nick Amenwari, safety. The Bills, well, they do need defensive help. Damar Hamlin's in his last year.
Yeah.
And second heart.
And he's got a couple of injury issues. Emin Warrior, I think, he is the best safety prospect in the draft.
Is he the best player overall left on the board?
Yeah, potentially.
Looking at it, I would say he probably is.
There's probably a couple of defensive tackles that you might consider. I wanted him because...
Not Walter Nolan, apparently, though, because I got a right look for that one a couple of picks ago.
Just prefer someone else, that's all. The Bills, they've got to go defense. They've got to figure out a way to beat Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
So having a really big, strong safety who can come in and play some sort of sub-linebacker, they can blitz him, similar to what the Ravens do with Kyle Hamilton.
I was thinking the other day to myself, who gets sacked first, John Harbaugh or Sean McDermott? Which one of them is closer to the door for not being able to get over the line?
I think McDermott.
Because you remember when Marvin Lewis used to get the Bengals to the first round of the playoffs for 15 years in a row?
I don't think either of them, because Harbaugh's won, and the Bills, they breed losing. So
I'm not disagreeing with you. I was just asking.
As a franchise, like this is so much better than they used to. So they're just.
Do you remember when Tom Coughlin had won twice and still got sacked? And then the Giants haven't really been any better since.
Yeah, but he was as old as time.
It's still going.
Yeah.
Paul, you are on the clock with the Chiefs at 31.
Obviously, they're taking the fastest wide receiver they can get. So,
well, they're looking for the one with the most arrests. Usually, is how it works. So who have we got left in the wide receiver class? Higgins is still there. Trey Harris.
Isaiah Bond is very quick. He's still there.
What? I'm going to ask the question. So we've got our big board up on the wall with the top 10 players for each position.
This is John's big board.
Yeah, what's going to happen when we get to the second round and some of these positional players have been drained off the board and there's no one there?
Run on QBs.
Yeah, there will be a run on QBs.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. Look, he's
more.
copied it down there as well.
Yeah, nice. Oh, no, I more meant like
the fact
when
they've all been
gone.
Well, Paul's already jumped 81 places once, so...
He's on the board.
Why is it every year it's Paul?
It's always Paul.
Didn't he also take Luther Burden III, who's the second biggest jump with 24 places? Excellent stuff.
And Mike Green, 11. Mike Gray's Able one apparently is a bold pick, but
pick number 31 is in. It's Malachi Starks, safety for the KC Royals. Yes, very nice. Again, I don't hate this. I quite like it. I think Starks is a nailed-on player for the first round this year. I really do.
And didn't the Eagles do better by just taking as many Bulldogs as they could?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's generally fair, yeah.
Gary, that leaves you on the clock to round out round one with the Eagles. Looking as you would have been for safety, and that probably would have been the right pick for you had you been picking at 31.
yes it would. So give me a minute.
Well, you've had. Yeah, I mean, I think so far in the second half of this first round, I've really liked the work that's actually gone in. I like the run on safeties with Amamori and Starks here towards the end of the first round. I certainly don't think either of them fall this far.
We're saying it's one of those unfashionable positions, isn't it? At the moment?
Yeah. Who was it that got the big paycheck about 6 years ago? Was it Adams?
Yeah. Well,
Buddha Baker.
Buddha Baker got.
Jamal Adams and Buddha Baker.
Jamal Adams was the one I was thinking of. And Buddha Baker. Buddha Baker's been productive. Jamal Adams never.
Honey Badger. But he was good.
That was the previous iteration of safeties, though. It was Jamal Adams because he was picked quite highly, and then the Seahawks
traded him for 2 first-round picks.
Yeah. And it just didn't quite work, and it felt like it set the position back.
I think it did. They also had they paid Quandre Diggs as well. Was it Quandre Diggs, the other safety?
Yeah.
They had? And they had 2 really high-paid safeties, thinking they'll get back to the kind of old Thomas Cam Chancellor years, and it never really happened, because Jamal Adams ended up playing more of the linebacker and probably had more.
Well, this is the thing. Adams was a line-based safety.
Yeah.
But they kept getting done over the top, so it didn't work because Diggs wanted to do the same thing. The 32nd pick, the final pick in the first round, is in. I cannot read his handwriting.
Darius
Alexander. Okay, yeah, defensive tackle for the Phillies, which he's put in brackets here is a shit name. It is. The Philadelphia Phillies is a shit name.
It's a shit name, isn't it?
Give it on with the Flyers.
I know, yeah, but I couldn't say it was a shit name.
No, that's
76ers.
So yeah, look, defensive line. There's much of a muchness up there at the moment when it comes to some of these. You could have argued to take, maybe Kenneth Grant instead, but different kind of mock drafts I've looked at, they seem to be moving around. So they need help. That's an aging defense. They've got good coverage, obviously, at cornerback, but we know the line is going to need some refreshing.
Well, that brings us to the end of the first round, and we will be back shortly with round 2 in an experimental year to see what the knowledge is and how many players Gary can trade out of having to select.
How many picks in a row John can get?
We are back with the somewhat controversial, somewhat experimental second round of the Snap UK 2025 mock draft. And one man has his head firmly ensconced in his hands. John Farrow has 6 of the first 7 selections in the second round.
All that trading.
Impeded only by Paul at number 34. So, without further ado,
Trade!
the New Orleans Saints are picking first in our mock draft after trading with the Browns. John.
Yeah, so I've traded away Derek Carr to the Browns.
You have.
Along with a lot of paying off his contract to basically, I want
Plus pick 40.
Plus pick 40. So yeah,
So the Saints
I'm only to give myself a fucking break at that point. But yes, so the pick is in.
God, I hope this is a quarterback after all that.
It is a quarterback. Jackson Dart is the first player taken in the second round. Off to the New Orleans Saints from old Miss Piggy. Very nice. Now, in your envisioning, is Jackson Dart starting for New Orleans this year?
I think so.
I think so, because I've got no one else. It's not Spencer Rattler, is it?
I think he'll be better than Spencer Rattler.
I think he'd be Spencer
But I still think
Rattler
they
and
probably only
Taysom
win
Hill.
3 games.
But yeah, I think my whole point for this was it was to dump Carr's salary, and Derek Carr currently has an injury, but it's one of those injuries that's like, I am injured as long as I play for the New Orleans Saints. If I was to join a new team, my shoulder would be much better.
It feels like Derek Carr and Kirk Cousins are both awaiting for which quarterback goes down in week 1.
Very much so, yeah. And so basically, I thought I'd get rid of Carr before Cousins gets a chance to move.
Also, before we move on, Paul, you are on the clock with the Giants a big 2. But before we move on, if you're the Steelers and the plan for Aaron Rodgers is on hold because of Aaron Rodgers, would you look at Derek Carr with the salary issue that comes with it? Or would you just say, no,
I'd rather look at Kirk Cousins.
Is it not a similar salary issue?
it's a similar salary. If I think Kirk Cousins better than Derek Carr.
I think they're much of a muchness.
No, I think
You think Kirk is
I think
decidedly
Kirk
better?
Is decidedly better than Derek Carr.
I'm not sure.
At least his history is. I think Carr's always been pretty.
Kirk was terrible last year.
It was terrible last year, but it was a new team. He was just coming off an injury, and I don't think it was his team, and he'd just been fucked over by the fact that they'd drafted Michael Penix Jr. in the top 10. I think at least if he goes to Steelers, he knows he is in constant as the starting quarterback.
Sure. Okay, Paul, thank you. This is what I thought might happen with pick number 34. The New York Giants take Jalen Milroe, quarterback from Alabama Ding Dong.
That's correct.
You're pleased with yourself, aren't you? Presumably to sit for a year behind Jameis and Russell Wilson.
Yeah, just to learn from Russell Wilson, essentially, as a rushing quarterback. This guy has the potential to be a Lamar Jackson.
I love that
Gonna
you
quote you on that.
I love that you have once again.
Yeah.
The difference. The difference is 46 places. You now have somewhere in the region of about 150 differential in your picks.
I'm sorry. When was the last time a quarterback from Alabama was underappreciated in the draft?
Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, that guy who just won the Super Bowl. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Okay. Yeah. Fine. I can see that. I can see that. I like Milroe, but
I don't. Two small hands.
he
Fumbled it 29 times in his college career.
he reminds me a little bit of Cardale Jones. Remember him?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah. Cardale Jones only started one NFL game, I think, for the Chargers back in the day. Right, so, John, you're on the clock for the next 45 minutes now.
The rest is just eating snacks. And
It's
waiting.
the Titans,
I've literally got the rest of the night off.
the Bengals, the Commanders, and the Jags again. I love this. John's furiously writing. He's got cramps.
He should, like, apart from
sweats.
Paul, like, which he could guess what Paul was going to do. He should have had all this shit done. Like, no one can fuck up his picks. Like, he could have just sat there and written them all
Could
out.
have done it, yeah.
I didn't. No one. Paul.
Hi.
I had the pick fucker in the middle of my fucking things.
Anyone else, he could have done it, but it was Paul.
Pick fucker. But, I mean, you had worse names.
I like that as a nickname.
The 35th pick is in for the Tennessee Titans. Defensive tackle, Derek Harmon. I like it, John. I like it.
Talk us through it, John.
Just picking the best player available. 1 second.
We're going to have to put him in a sleeping bag and tuck him in when this is finished.
Come on, John. Anytime today, mate.
It's currently 9:45 in the evening. And John's still got another 6 picks to do here.
So he's got the Jags next. Who do we take? Who do you take in the first round for the Jags?
Do you know what also fucks us a little bit is the only person who puts the names into the computer to take them off the
Jags.
board is John.
It's John, yeah. So Jalen Walker, the first time for the Jags.
I could help him, but I don't fucking want to.
I mean, we could help. We could just sit here in silence and wait for him, but that'd be a shit show. So he's taking edge up. What with the line picks in?
The next pick is in
Is it O-line? Is it receiver?
with the 36th pick.
He's going running back, isn't he?
It's the first name I haven't been able to pronounce.
Oh, you've done so well.
Azaregi Thomas.
Yeah, Thomas.
I could just go with Thomas. I'm bad with the first name.
Azariah.
Yeah, Azariah. Is that how it is? Azariah?
That's what I'm going with.
Who did I pick for the Titans?
the cornerback.
I can't remember. Derek.
Titans.
It's Derek Harmon.
Derek
Yeah.
Harmon.
Oh, he's having a meltdown. I love this. I love this. He's in charge of everything right now. This is like, imagine being in charge of a live television studio and the man brings in the elephant and it's like that Blue Peter episode from back in the 60s where it just starts crapping on the floor. That's what's happening here. Only the elephant is John and he's crapped his pants.
Niche reference.
Gary, very, very subtly there, filling in the Bengals. So, but yeah, cornerback Azariah Thomas for the Jags. I don't hate that pick. Good player.
I mean, they need help all across the defense. So now they've got.
They just need help.
They've got edge help. They've now solidified at cornerback. So it was defense that was hurting them.
Once I'm done with joining Gary in force of getting rid of Kyler Murray from the Cardinals. The next one for me will be Trevor Lawrence from the Jets.
Yeah, I know.
Right.
I started that.
Pick number 37. Tyler Booker, guard, moves to the Bengals.
Don't hate this.
This was part of the trade from earlier with the Raiders and the Bengals. No, I don't hate this either. Again, you need everything you can get on the line there because Joe Burrow is your best player and you have to keep him upright if you're getting back to the Super Bowl, which has to be the aim for the Bengals.
Oh,
He's sailing now. He's sailing.
I just realised it's not even just John. It's John and Paul, isn't it? Pretty much.
A lot of it.
Like, this is just madness.
I've got a couple coming up soon.
So, also traded earlier.
Their first pick, pick of the draft. Because they traded back, didn't they?
Traded back with the Patriots. So the Pats went up to 29 and dropped this to the Commanders. They take defensive tackle Kenneth Grant from Michigan.
Yeah.
Like this, John. This is
I love that pick.
Sensible pick,
I think he's probably going to go in the first round. I think if I wasn't able to trade up with the Chargers to get Colston, and Colston would have gone, Kenneth Grant was my second pick for the Chargers. Which is why it looked a bit strange when he took Walter Nolan.
Yeah, but the drafts I'd seen just saw him going higher.
So you're looking at a man who is currently writing a double Jaguars in the second round, and that is a man who's not looking happy about it.
Can we give John the Jaguars every year?
Yes.
Yeah. So Jaguars on defense with their first 2 picks. Travis Etienne coming into the final.
The third Jags pick.
Etienne's in his final contract year, is it?
Trevian Henderson, running back from fucking Jags College. I think any team picking up Trevian Henderson as low as 39th will have snagged themselves a great player. Immense value. I think he's a really good player. John, you are finally off the clock, and we're we are on to you, Jim, with the Cleveland Browns.
Right, I better start looking to work.
Pick number 40.
Yep.
So this is where the Browns, for me, have got to seriously consider, in reality, a quarterback.
Oh dear.
Yeah, well, that's what I would do were I them. I am not them. But I don't think they can afford to do it at pick 2 or whatever they are, so it has to be here for me. There's a lot of silence creeping in, guys. Everyone's doing their thinking.
We've all got shit to do now.
We've had our little break.
It's real now.
Plus, we've either got some shit to come up with, or we don't know what we're talking about because we're now into the next
second round.
32.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, we've got double Jim coming up, so that helps everyone. The Cleveland Browns select Donovan Jackson, O-line from Ohio State. Who exactly are you protecting under center?
I don't know, whoever's there. They're going to need a lot of time.
Derek Carr. Yeah. In this situation, he's protecting Derek
Carr, that's true. Yeah, absolutely. And his magically rehabilitated shoulder. Yeah. And then, Jim, you have the Bears at 41.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
What are we looking up at the Bears? The Bears, do they need a receiver? Do they need another receiver, the Bears?
Just more O-line, the more time you can give
I've been thinking about that. Yeah.
More time you give to Fields. Not even Fields anymore, is it? It's Cam someone.
Caleb Williams.
Caleb Williams, that's the one.
Cam someone. Justin Fields is going to be running around at the Jets this year.
Yeah, which is going to be fun.
I mean, I like Justin Fields.
Bears could do really well this year, couldn't they?
They could.
It's a tough division, though, isn't it? That's the problem. That division is always tough.
It's certainly probably the hardest one now.
Yeah.
You'd say now the Vikings might be the weakest team?
Just because we're not sure on the quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If McCarthy comes out swinging, then
it's the one the coach I trust the most, though. So I don't know. It's the most intriguing division in football still.
Yeah, I would agree. Really tight one. You're breaking the microphone there, John.
Yeah, I am.
Done.
The 41st pick. Edge rusher Nick Scouton. Scouton. I'm sorry. The handwriting is terrible.
Sod.
Sorry about that.
So from Texas A&M there. So you fairly determined to get him off the board?
Yeah, I wasn't, having just taken Donovan Jackson, which I was a little bit disappointed about because I did want him for the Bears. There wasn't anyone on the offensive line I felt was good enough to warrant taking over Nick Skelton and solidifying the defensive line.
You took Skelton as opposed to building more on the offense as you did with Genty.
Yeah. They brought in a load of pieces for the offensive line already through free agency and trades. You know, they have improved that unit as much as they can. Mm-hmm. They can always go back in. You know, I think they've got another second round pick coming up soon. So maybe that's a pick there. But certainly in the third, fourth round, they can also bring in other players. But Nick Skelton as a pass rusher, I really like him, and you don't lose by having too much defensive line depth. That was my thinking.
Oh, I like it. I'm wondering, Paul, now with the Jets on the clock, is he doing actual research, or is he thinking, how do I shoehorn in one of these quarterbacks I've heard of to be behind Justin Fields for a year? Because at the moment
they've got Tyrod as their
they have got Tyrod, but Tyrod isn't the future, and you've got to ask yourself, is Justin Fields the future?
He's picking Sam Bradford.
He's on the phone. After Paul, it's Paul again with the Niners.
I like O-line help for both these teams.
Well, you're screwed then.
With the 42nd pick, it's Jaden Higgins, wide receiver to the Jets.
So the reason why is just...
So it's Garrett Wilson on the other side?
Yeah, but I see him more on the in route. He's just a giant guy. He's reliable, doesn't drop the ball. And I felt it gives kind of an opposite. It gives a safer option for Fields.
They need plenty of sure-handed weapons because we know Fields isn't fantastically accurate. Again, I really like Fields. I think it gives them some serious running ability, which Aaron Rodgers for the last 2 years, well, certainly one of the two, but for basically the last 2 years, has not given them up. They had nothing under centre that was mobile.
He only wants to Pat McAfee.
So now the Niners are on the clock at 43.
Edge help in the first round.
They did. Do they stick with defence? Or do you think they want O-line?
I think they want O-line.
I think they've got to keep building the defence. Like, you've been decimated there in the off-season.
Paul just pointed to a player who I would be over the moon if he selected them and then the 49ers selected him.
Is it Quidshawn Judkins?
It's not.
Oh, I thought that's maybe where he was going with this because of what Shanahan gets out of your 74 running backs you have to play every year.
I think he's going to do it as well.
Do you?
Yeah, it looks that way.
Paul, describe
really
why
player.
you like Tyler Shook.
Well, I did wonder if Paul was going to come out today with a trade and try and get rid of Purdy.
At one point, I was going to do that just to watch Jim's blood boil.
The pick is in, and at 43, it's running back Cameron Scatterboo.
Hey!
Yeah, I like it. Again, Judkins or Scatterboo, I like them both. I think it's great for the Shanahan system. Yeah. He gets more out of running backs than anyone in the league.
It allows you to rest Christian McCaffrey as well a little bit because a similar type of player, bit of a more of a bulldozer. You don't have to have McCaffrey there on every single.
Is
down.
McCaffrey really going to ever be the same player? Like, is it even realistic?
And if he isn't, then you've selected you spent a high draft pick on a running back to replace him.
True. Gary, you're on the clock with the Cowboys.
I'm just going to suggest. I know no one listens to me about this anyway. But if this isn't a receiver, there will be absolute riots in Dallas.
There's going to be absolute riots. It is Quidshawn Judkins, running back. Now,
that's a fucking good pick.
There's no run game in Dallas.
I like it.
I was hoping for Scatterboo. Paul just pushed me into Judkins. So I'm hoping actually in real life, if I was the Cowboys, I'd be hoping Henderson does fall as far as that.
I don't think
because I think they want a running back. I was tempted to take it in the first round, but I just didn't think any of them were quite enough value.
No.
I've seen a lot of mock drafts with them taking Hampton.
If Cam Scatterboo doesn't come out to the Scat Man, he'd be missing something, right? Like, he should resurrect that song. I think so.
Oh, God, yeah.
Because do you want to be known as the Scat Man in this day and age, Paul?
I mean, let's not kid. If
not.
If Jameis Winston wasn't half as entertaining a person as he is, he would be out the league.
Yeah.
Same with my whole fucking quarterback room is just memes. So yeah,
Jim, you're on the clock with the Colts. Then it will be Paul with the Falcons and Gary with the Cardinals. John having a bit of a rest there. Well, then you're back in
I'm
with
bored
a double.
now.
Yeah, but then you're back in with a double pick. With the 45th pick. Oh, it's one of these other names I can't do.
Elijah.
Yeah, I can get Elijah, thank you. Arroyo? Arroyo, tight end from Miami.
Yeah.
Sorry?
Arroyo.
Well, there you go.
Bless you.
Just imagine your Scooby-Doo.
Oh,
Wow. Dipping a toe into racism. Excellent stuff. I like it. Do you want to talk about the Pope passing, or should we just move on? Just while we're doing
I
offensive
think
things.
the Pope's gutted he missed Leeds going up. I think that's I think he'd have been absolutely gutted that he died the morning before Leeds got promoted.
I heard the rumor he died happy knowing John Cena won his 17th world
Yeah,
title.
exactly. Yeah.
Paul, you are on the clock with the Falcons here. Are you doing research, or were you absent-mindedly staring at buxom women again? Well. So, best players remaining on our big board here. Donovan Jackson, is he still there?
No, I'll take him.
I was going to say, Donovan Jackson's gone. Tyler Shug.
He's still there.
Mason Taylor, yes.
Yeah.
Mason Taylor not maybe getting as much. So the drop between the top three tight ends and Mason Taylor. But in reality, I don't think the gap is that big.
No, I think all down to probably Gunnar Helm, I think all the tight ends on that list are decent and they'll do a job.
Paul's gone cornerback for the Falcons. It's Tori Amos from the 90s.
Thought to bring it close to me.
Wow. I was not expecting a reference. Trey Amos from Ole Miss. Very nice.
Got to be real, horsey. No, in all seriousness.
We're nothing if not up to date on this show. I love it. Gary, the Cardinals are on the clock.
I've seen some really good press about Trey Amos, and again, just someone who can be cover on the deep ball.
Somebody does have to cover your deep balls.
I mean, also the Falcon secondary has been absolutely decimated.
Terrible. Absolutely, for a while as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so Gary frantically writing. And with the 47th pick, at tackle or guard, it's Donovan Jackson for the Wildcats.
He's just been picked.
We've been picked him.
I was going to say, I thought that name had just come up and gone. That's our first do-over.
It's still on the board a minute ago.
It was, but John just hadn't updated it. And now it's
just
gone.
deleted it.
Back to you, Gary.
That whilst I was busy.
Is this like when the Vikings missed their pick 2 years in a row?
That's up there.
Oh, we're putting we're putting John on the clock with the Dolphins. See if John can get in there with the Dolphins before whatever Gary gets to. They're both on the
I'm going
clock.
to pick Donovan Jackson.
I'm going to take Jonah Sava Ionaya.
Until the pick is in, it's not in. You better start.
Jonah S.
Jonah Savanaya, tackle guard. He's mostly a guard, I believe.
Just need help from my new quarterback. Need help from my new quarterback.
Need help for it being so late at night trying to draft players you've never heard of. Is basically what you need. So, John, you are on the clock again with the Dolphins. And indeed with the Bengals as your follow-up pick. So, the Cardinals here, they could take another... you could have taken another quarterback, Gary. You didn't have to take.
I don't think they needed another
You
quarterback.
just keep filling the
Well,
quarterback
say,
room.
I just hadn't seen it come off John's big board, so I didn't realise he'd...
The 48th pick, TJ Sander, defensive tackle from South Carolina. That's for the Dolphins.
Decent pick.
Again, I don't hate it. The number of defensive players, flying off the board, edge and tackle. But it always does. But the linebacker position this year, no one seems to be really... We've had one. And I'm not sure we'll get this far without more than one linebacker going. It seems to be an underutilised position this year. John still on the clock with the Bengals. Jim, I'm just teeing you up. You will be after that for the Seahawks. And then Gary, it's you with the Broncos.
Gary's very happy about that.
He's only happy because I think he's got one or two picks.
I've got
after
two
that.
more left after that, yeah. I just traded my way out of this as much as I could. This utter chaos.
And chaos is exactly what it is. Paul, you scrolling players there? Anyone taking your eye?
He's definitely watching porn.
I don't have a data plan on this.
Oh, I like it. We're making some good progress. We had the over-under at 5 on quarterbacks, and so far we're up to 4. Jordan Buck. Is that what we're going with? Edge rusher from Oregon. I like that. Are you happy trying to replace Trey Hendrickson?
Yeah, I think I've gone for 2 defensive linemen
so
far. So, yeah, I think just the more defensive players, the better for the Bengals.
Yeah, it's D-line and O-line all the way for the Bengals in this draft. You've secured your weapons. You've got Higgins and Chase. You've got Burrow. I mean, you're off and running. So, Jim, where do the Seahawks go? They need to keep helping Geno?
No.
Not Geno, sorry. Sam Darnold.
Yeah, potentially. I still think...
Who's just the white Geno.
Yeah. Not a bad bet. Obviously,
Simons.
we're going to go for Tyler Shuck here.
Well, you've got to ask yourself, what's the long-term plan? But I think they see Darnold as the long-term plan.
No one sees Darnold as the long-term.
I don't know. I don't know why you'd move on from Geno if Darnold isn't your long-term plan. I don't like it, but I don't see why you'd do it.
Just a bit different, isn't it?
Is it? Is it different?
You're just going to finish third in the division anyway. You might as well just try something different to do that.
It's true. Well, I don't mind it at all. I think I'd definitely be looking to help Darnold out some more. So, what did you keep him upright in the first round?
Yeah, that's exactly what you do.
Has to be done. I feel the energy seeping out of the room here, gentlemen, while you're all fiercely reading. The 50th pick is in. Miles Fraser, guard, joins the Seahawks, again protecting Darnold, hoping he can keep finding all those players that they don't have. Does anyone see a serious backward step for Darnold this year, or am I the only one who thinks he might really
He's
struggle?
not playing for someone as good as the Vikings.
The 51st pick is in, though. Gary with the Denver Broncos. Excuse me.
No, it wasn't the Denver Broncos, was it? The Colorado Avalanche.
Sorry, the Colorado Avalanche. From Utah State, Jalen Royals.
Yes, wide receiver.
Wide receiver.
I think that's the one they want. So, gets good separation, has looked good. So, I think that's who they've got their eye on. I think they potentially might make that pick there. I think that is a potential landing spot. And obviously, I went defensive with the Broncos in round 1. So, now I've got the right coach in my head. Then, yes, obviously, Peyton might want some offensive players.
Jim back on the clock with the Seahawks again.
Oh, God, really?
Yeah.
The board's right
The board is right there. You can't miss it.
I need some thingamajigs.
Some thingamajigs.
Well,
There's a couple there.
And John is going to take Jalen Royals off the big board for me so that he disappears. There we go. Thank you very much. Just keeping everybody up to date here. I will point out the Miles Fraser pick was one of the bigger out of position according to ESPN. Really? 72 places up. Look at that. Look at that.
Oh, and he doesn't get the absolute piss ripped out of him.
I think that's the only one. Like, you're at nearly 200 positions out in your combined players.
Jalen Milroy won't go that low.
It's Jack Beck, wide receiver to the Seahawks. I like that. I think if you get a weapon.
He's my favourite wide receiver, I think. In
really?
the class. Yeah, I just think he. This is going to sound really stupid, isn't it?
Yeah, go on, do it anyway.
No,
go on.
I was going to say, he fucking catches the ball.
That's his job.
He gets open and he catches the ball. And what more do you want from a wide receiver? And I think when you've got, obviously you're going to have Jackson Smith and Jigba on the other side, you've got rid of DK Metcalf. Lockett's gone. They've
got to get weapons.
They've got to get more weapons there.
No point protecting Darnold if
there's
you don't know where to throw to.
Yeah, exactly.
We get double pull now, Bucks and then Packers. There's a lot of writing going on, names he's never heard of before being scribbled down furiously. The pick is in. The Tampa Bay Bucks at number 53 take Carson Schwarzenegger,
Oh yeah, that's
a linebacker. I like it. It's a good pick. I mean, like I say, that's only the second linebacker off the board. It could have been Demetrius Knight Jr., quite like him, Chris Paul Jr. as well. If Danny Stuttman doesn't call himself the stunt man, I'll be very upset as well. So, Paul, Green Bay Packers, pick 54. What are you thinking? Talk us through your decision-making process while you try and read about players you've never heard of.
No, I'm tempted to just kind of go on a bit of a weird one here.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's not like you.
No, not like me. Not like me at all.
Who did you take earlier with the Packers?
I took Luther Burden.
Oh, yes. So, the overriding requirements for the Packers, cornerback. I mean, that's a big one.
D-line.
Maxwell Hairston still there. I mean, I'm not trying to put ideas in your head, but that's where I'd be looking.
I've been looking at him and he don't look very good.
Oh, okay. Well, screw you. Jalen Reed at safety. Don't mind that as a pick. Otherwise, we're sort of getting into
the area where you need to do a lot more research.
Yeah, that is a problem.
I like this bit.
Considering this second round was proffered only yesterday. Never mind. I noticed no centres have gone off our board yet, by the way.
Yeah.
Is that because...
I think they will go this early. I think the Falcons will take a centre first.
You reckon?
Well, they've lost their one.
Yeah. I mean, as well, centres tend to be able to move across to tackle. Or guard, sorry. So, whilst it's a sort of stringent position set, once you get to the big league, you can be moved around as long as you've got the intangibles. Wilson does. McLaughlin does. Kendall, I don't know, really. Webb is the other one I've heard of and have seen bits of tape on. Looks like a good player. So, considering the amount of O-line players that have disappeared, I'll be stunned if we haven't seen 2 or 3 of these centres start to go as well.
But I just play the reach alert sound.
It's an edge rusher. The reach around alert at number 54, Jack Sawyer from Ohio State.
Wasn't he from like a book, like Huckleberry
Tom
Finn
Sawyer,
or something?
you're thinking of Tom Sawyer there. He had a mate called Jim.
This is a guy who's really... Wow.
He did.
He did, yeah. Jack Sawyer is Ohio State. He had a really great Cotton Bowl game. He's kind of more contemporary in terms of what he's been doing. But
Wrong time to bring up the Cotton Bowl, but you go for gold.
I mean, he's just a giant lad, basically. And I felt if it's going to be a reach, the Green Bay aren't in a bad space, really. So felt like it was worth a bit of a reach.
You've got to stop using the word reach. While we're on the subject, Jack Reacher is possibly the worst name for a hero, right? Like, what's
pretty standard,
How is
isn't
that guy sort of distracting people?
You know how.
Everyone would just be dissing him. Jack Reacher around. Everyone would call him that. You know they would in the office.
In the office?
Yeah, in the office.
Have you seen it?
He doesn't really have an office.
I don't know. No, I don't think I've
Yeah,
seen
he
it.
doesn't file paperwork at the end of every episode.
He's the one doing.
Oh, for God's
float,
sake.
Yeah.
I don't think
We've
I've
got
seen it.
2 gym picks here. We've got Chargers and Bills.
Damn it, Reacher, look at these insurance claims. You're costing me a fortune here.
Yes, so Chargers on the clock. Jim scribbling names. What else am I? I'm also surprised at the lack of linebackers, as I've said. Safeties as well.
But there's a big drop-off after Starks and the
there?
gentleman who I can't pronounce his name correctly at all. I felt there was a drop-off.
So we had the over-under on 5 quarterbacks. Who's left that might take one? Because it won't be the Chargers or the Bills or the Panthers or the Texans or the Ravens. Lions or Commanders.
Lions could take one.
You think? I'm not sure. I'm thinking here we might be stuck with just the 4 for us. Number 55. It's centre Jared Wilson to the Chargers.
Jim just got bullied into that.
I looked where he was on the big board. It's about right, I think. Well, I'm waiting to see. 17 places out. Fuck off. Daniel Jeremiah as the 55th ranked player.
We know from previous. This is all. This is
Interior offensive line. Anyway, he's had 1 year at Georgia. He played very well. That Georgia team is amazing as it is, and Chargers just help Justin Herbert. Got him a tight end, getting some more help on the offensive line.
The last
You can see how much chaos there is because they're all red.
Picks are a combined 159 places out, according to the ESPN.
It does get much harder when you haven't had time to research anything.
I'm just going off. Who have I heard of?
Yeah. The Buffalo Bills are on the clock. Jim.
Yes, I know.
I'm just saying. Watched an excellent documentary last night about the 4 times they failed to win the Super Bowl. Really enjoyed
The 4
it.
Falls of Buffalo.
No, it was just a guy on YouTube who'd done a bit of a documentary about the 90s football, but obviously the opening is the 4 years basically where they failed to cross the line and how badly they got whooped in a couple of those Super Bowls as
Must
well.
have been murder trying to get people to sign up to take part in that.
ESPN have one,
Yeah, the 4 Falls of Buffalo.
which is great.
Yeah. It's very good. No, it was very interesting to see, but the football then was just so different. Some of the hits, it's beautiful. It's just beautiful.
Oh, it's fucking great. I love everything every so often it comes around and it's like the opening credits for football on Fox from the 90s, and basically every play is a tackle. It is a foul nowadays, and basically you'd have been chucked out the league.
Jim now testing my powers of pronunciation again, which is a problem because he's not on the big board. So I'm only going by the handwriting. At number 56, it's Edge from Ohio State, JT Tumalua.
Yeah, I'll go that. That sounds pretty good.
I think I'm close.
Yeah.
He wouldn't be offended.
No, I think you've made a really good effort there.
You've strayed outside of the
I've
board
gone outside our big board. He's on Daniel Jeremiah's big board.
Gary, you are on the clock.
This is bloody hell, that's quick.
Go on, you keep going.
I knew who I wanted. I've been waiting ages and just waiting to see if one of you fuckers took him or not.
Bills just get stronger at defense. Is basically
That's what they've got to do.
Yeah.
At 57, the Charlotte Hornets take wide receiver Trey Harris from Ole Miss.
Yep. So
Really like that.
big-bodied wide receiver, tall, long arms, it says in the profile, which, considering he's going to be catching balls, hopefully, from Bryce Young, might be helpful. But he's going to need some help, isn't he? He's going to need some more weapons, and I think a big-bodied receiver will help a lot. So, one of 2... Well, he's done 2,000 yard, broke the 2,000 yard mark, so
Really?
He's an impressive player. He probably won't fall that low, I don't think. Don't know about you, Jim. You know this more than me, but
John, you're on the clock with the Texans.
I'm green on the board, so I'm
all
happy.
green on the board.
Paul, I will tee you up with the Ravens as well to follow.
Jim, you're
John's
only
pick.
23, and that wasn't even on John's board a minute ago. How's that happened?
That's pretty decent, isn't it?
Not bad at all. Not bad at all. So, John, what's your thinking here? What do you need for the Texans? More time? That's beautiful. Do you need? You still need to build that O line. I mean,
Yeah, I'd carry on with O-line.
Ozzy Topillo.
I think it is going to be Ozzy Topillo.
Ozzy Topillo. Excellent stuff. I like it. So, Paul, with the Ravens, you are on the clock. The Texans have taken Ozzy Topillo, tackle, because they just need 5 big blokes to play on that line. That was a little bit of subtle nudging and helping out there. We all love a subtle nudging. The 59th pick is in for the Ravens. It's wide receiver Isaiah Bond. Fast. apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw him as kind of making a Xavier Worthy style difference. It's pretty much same player, same college.
Yeah, he was faster than Xavier Worthy in college.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just not in the combine.
I mean, yeah, Jim has caught up to me just looking at players with the funniest names now.
That's what I thought you were going to pick. I was like, yeah,
I'm not going to pick Aeneas Peebles.
What are you thinking here, Gary, for the Lions?
I'm thinking defence again, so I'm just trying to decide between what's left on the board because there's still some decent players like Maxwell Hairston, has had some good reports.
Yeah,
especially
Xavier
a year or
Watts,
so ago, was really good. Xavier Watts. So, but again, I just think that cornerback is hard. So I'm going to go with Maxwell Hairston.
Maxwell Hairston. This is a player I'm surprised he's dropped this far, if I'm honest. Really like him. Is this the chap that didn't put such a good 24 on tape, but was good in 23?
That's right. 2023, everyone thought he was amazing. So, like I say, just the best defensive player left.
You
and I think
have taken this guy at 33 places below his expected draft point.
Yeah.
That would be amazing value. I just can't see it myself.
Well, according to John's big board, obviously he was the 4th best rated cornerback, which, there's some good cornerbacks in this draft, but they have high value, don't they, these days? We've got a lot of skill players.
Anyone that can come in and play in that position straight away. John's pick for the Commanders at number 61 is in. It's Mason Taylor, tight end for the Washington Commanders. Again, you're just looking to add weapons?
Just best player.
Thank you. That's very succinct of you.
Best player available at the moment.
I like it. Yeah, very good, very good. That leaves Jim with the Bills, Paul with the Chiefs, and Gary with the Eagles to round out our experimental second round. We're flying through this now. Mason Taylor, 13 positions below his expected draft point as well. Also, we should have credited Gary earlier with Trey Harris, 12 positions below his expected draft point. So whilst we mock, people like Paul taking Jack Sawyer 47 places higher than he's predicted, we have got some really good value coming in here. The 62nd pick is in. Defensive tackle Alfred Collins goes to the Bills from Texas.
Carry on building the defense.
Yeah, this seems to be your plan, yeah?
Yeah, but I think they've got all the pieces they need on offense. It worked last year. They've got Josh Allen as well. They actually got a decent
Josh Allen's an elevator, isn't he?
Yeah, they actually got a decent running game at last. Don't make any changes.
I will point out, James Cook's not at OTAs because he's in the last year of his deal and he has refused to turn up because they've not negotiated a new deal.
That's his loss.
Is it, or do they need to get their finger out? Because he's the best running back they've had there since LaShawn McCoy.
Okay, so I agree with that. But realistically, unless you're Saquon Barkley, you're not getting paid massive amounts of money.
I don't know what his contract is. I'm just telling you,
He's on a rookie contract, so don't go there expecting to get massive amounts of money. You can pick up.
Is there a chance if he continues to hold out that they just draft a running back in the first 3 rounds?
Yeah, potentially. I mean, there's still decent running backs on the board.
Caleb Johnson, Devin Neal,
Dylan Sampson. All of them have got chances to be in the top 3 rounds. I just think Bills, you've got to figure out how to beat the Chiefs. Do what the Eagles did. They've now taken second round 2 defensive line prospects. Go and get Patrick Mahomes.
Seems fair. Paul, you're on the clock with the penultimate pick in the Snap UK 2025 mock draft. It's the Kansas City Chiefs. How have I never noticed that you're left-handed before? Never noticed.
You look at my left hand and you see the amount of ink that's gone down.
Yeah. I've never really paid attention. You are the Tua Tagovailoa of this podcast. Beset with concussions. Basically not good enough for the position you're in. That feels harsh.
Massively overpaid.
Massively overpaid. Absolutely massively overpaid. Looks good in turquoise. and you've got a brother who didn't make it. Everybody remember him? What was his name? Began with T as well, didn't it? Was it Trevor Tungavailoa or something? There was another. There was another Tungavailoa, right? Another. Didn't make it. I think he plays in Canada. I reckon he's in the Canadian Football League. Right, the Chiefs take O-line, left tackle. Oh my God. What is your handwriting?
Aronze Ursary.
Aronze Ursary. Okay. Bless you.
There is actual genuine thought in
It's
it.
Arionte, isn't it? Yeah, Erion Teosiri. Okay, fine. Go on.
That guy. They need
Yep.
a left tackle, surprisingly, from, getting absolutely hammered.
Was it Joe Tooney in the Super Bowl?
It's not a left tackle.
No,
He's not there either now.
No, he's not there. No. But he was getting moved around, wasn't he, in the Super
Yeah.
Bowl? Like they kept moving him and trying to figure out.
He'd been at left tackle for a while because of an injury, wasn't he? So he was put there with about 8 weeks to go of the
He just got
regular
owned.
season.
That's all I remember.
And
is he got owned.
I think
was a
I can't
great
remember who
player
they
for
played.
Patriots.
Somebody identified it. I don't know if it was the Vikings or someone. Can't remember. But someone identified it, didn't they? And then they just absolutely trashed them. And then that's what the Eagles went after.
Yeah. Speaking of the Eagles, Gary, you're on the clock with them.
Yeah, so I am now going to take Xavier Watts, safety out of Notre
Xavier
Dame.
Watts.
So I think, again, I'm just putting everything I can into the Eagles' defence.
Yep.
It's the most aging part of their team. The offence looks set, looks comfortable. It's got some expense to it, so let's try and get some cheaper, younger players that we can ride for a couple of years into the defence.
It's always the best way. Cheaper and younger and rideable.
Exactly.
So that concludes the 2-round mock draft for the Snap UK 2025. We ended up taking 4 quarterbacks off the board, not the minimum of 5 that I was expecting. 9 wide receivers, 5 running backs, 4 tight ends, 7 tackles, 6 guards, a centre, 8 edge rushers.
I think there might have been more 8 because somebody took one off a different board. So it might be 9 edges.
Oh yes, 9 edge rushers. Sorry, yeah. 7 defensive tackles, 2 linebackers. That feels like we got that wrong.
No, I don't think so.
No, you don't think they're that good this year, no?
Nope.
6 cornerbacks again, maybe, and then 3 safeties, which was 2 until the last pick. Again, like we said earlier, an undervalued position now.
I'd actually take even more edge rushers because I had another one off the board.
Oh, okay, yeah. So all in
It looks
all,
a bit light on cornerbacks, I'd say. 6 in 2 rounds.
maybe I still think linebacker, but Jim doesn't. He doesn't agree, and he's my college analyst, so I'll have to go with what he says.
The cornerbacks are. I don't think there are a lot of starters.
I think at the top,
I think
Travis Hunter, Will Johnson. Who's the other one we took in that? I think it was Trey Harris, was it? Trey Amos. Like this. Thank you. Jadi Barron. Suffering from your disease now.
Sexiness.
Yeah, exactly.
See,
They also took Azariah, second round.
Yeah, Azariah Thomas.
I'll be stunned if 4 quarterbacks is where the line is drawn after 2 rounds.
Well,
In
I
reality.
can see
I can see someone
Steelers going
Yeah.
for a
Yeah.
quarterback.
Well,
I can see the Seahawks going for a quarterback.
Steelers, Saints,
the
Browns, and Giants, and nailed
Yeah.
one.
I can see the Rams trading back into the second, maybe
take one of the younger ones.
I think we did a lot of stuff that did actually mess with this. So
Maybe.
like I say,
We like to.
I'm not sure that Shador will fall that low. Somebody will take him as the second best quarterback. They just probably will,
Yeah, I agree.
because somebody will. They'll be worried about the risk of not having a quarterback.
It's just whether or not they rate him as the second quarterback, and I think more people are coming over to Jackson Dart.
I think you'll probably find it'll fall to around
Steelers or
26, and someone will then move back into the first round, maybe.
Saints. Maybe.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely. That's
because
what I think.
I think like someone like the Rams need picks because
I'm not even sure he's definitely the second quarterback.
No, I don't think he is.
But there's a PR campaign already against him.
Is there?
Schefter was reporting,
Yeah.
an anonymous executive said his attitude stank.
Yeah, worst interviews ever had or something.
I don't know. Like I said, for me, he gives off Johnny
I
Manziel
want
vibes.
it to fall because his dad is going to be so salty, and it's going to be fantastic.
Do you know what? I nearly took him to the Cowboys at 12 just to set up the potential reunion of his dad coaching them next year. So I nearly did that for my shits and giggles as well.
What's Dak's trade value if you do that?
Well, Dax never plays. He's always injured.
That's true.
Like, that's the other thing.
Let's do our usual exercise of looking at who was the most overdrafted player. I can see it on the board. I think it's our usual winner. It's Paul with Tate Ratledge. 81 places overdrafted. I believe that was the highest. We also had Jim with Miles Fraser, 72 places.
Guards.
Yeah, guards, both guards.
ESPN hates guards.
So it would appear. Who was the highest value pick, John? That's got to be Gary, I think, was the highest value pick. It was Gary with Maxwell Hairston at 33. And then yourself, John, with Mason Taylor, Derek Harmon to you again, and Gary with Trey Harris. I don't think we've done too badly there. We've got quite a lot of green. Have we got more red than green? Probably. We often do.
But also, Cam Ward with a difference of 6.
Yeah.
Based on rank.
It's
No,
based
I
on
know.
ranking.
Yeah.
Ranking,
Yeah, but
That's why the Tate Radledge pick is wrong.
Yeah.
can I just point out
Yes.
that my 6 of 7,
Yeah.
all of them green.
That's some great work.
I'm
Is that an exercise in just taking the best player available?
Yeah, probably not even looking at the fucking board, man. I was just picking the names I remembered.
It's in the zone.
Well, yeah, the only one he got then went straight to Jim, who completely lost his mind and chucked in 2 reds. So much so that I tried to pick one of them again. I was like, Donovan must still be there.
Donovan Jackson, way too low on ESPN.
Yeah, I
on
think so,
board.
yeah.
Like, if he picks him at 40 and he's 19 places out, that's bullshit.
Seems like unlikely to be that low. What was the college with the most players drafted, John? Can you tell me that? I'm sure you can. I just want to test your mettle with your machine here.
So it's got to be Georgia.
I don't
Georgia
know.
got a few. Michigan have got a few.
I saw a few old
Ohio
myths.
State.
Ohio State.
Yeah, they just won the Natty, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a higher stake.
Ohio State. And like I say, Ole Miss got 4 on there. Oregon got 3. Yeah, there's a few. Like it. About Alabama with 3. They always have a few, don't they? Yep. I like that. That was a great exercise, everyone. Thank you very much. Is there anything anyone would like to add before I shut down this very long draft?
What do you, taking away what we've done, what do you see is going to be the biggest shock in this draft?
Jadar Saunders slipping out the first round.
Okay.
Like I say, I can see the Cowboys trying to make a splash, like Gary was saying, and drafting and sitting in for a year behind Dak. It just feels... I can't get past the fact that Jerry Jones wanted to do that with Johnny Manziel, and I keep saying the hype feels the same, and I just think it's the sort of thing...
Who is their backup? Because they've got rid of Cooper Rush.
Joe Milton.
Will Greer.
Oh, Joe Milton, isn't
Joe
it?
Milton. And Will Greer.
So they don't need a quarterback.
No, because they've got Joe. They're set with 2 of your favourites.
They've got a 4th round pick and then 2 top 10 talents behind him.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like something like that. I also think Gary may have nailed this with the Patriots trying to move around a bit. They've got a lot of money. They can absorb cap hits. They can do all sorts of things on the day. I'm stunned by how well they came out of this, and I think that they could be a team moving around.
Just how much they want their top O lineman. Like, because me and Jim were talking, and he was like, "I get what you're doing. Why wouldn't you just take your top O lineman?"
Yeah.
So I think that's the question: is it do you take your best O lineman? You can sit there for 8-9 years, or do you try and just rebuild the whole franchise?
The top O lineman in our draft was Membu because it was the Dolphins and you were protecting the left-hander, but I think it will be Campbell or Banks Jr.
I've seen them having Campbell in nearly every mock draft.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
got to be
me
Campbell.
too.
It's got to be Campbell.
I think so, unless the arm length is really a concern, but I don't
His
think
technique
it
is too good.
Yeah, I
It
think so.
needs to be if he's a T-Rex.
Well, exactly.
I can't see the Patriots moving and not taking the O-lineman, but I can see them trying to get back in at the end of the first round for something else. Otherwise, yeah, I mean, like I say, running backs, we only had 2 in the first round.
I think that's about right. I think the under would be 2.5.
I just
I'd
think
take that
people are
over.
looking at Saquon and what he's done and Derrick Henry and what he's done and
I think
thinking...
there's a lot of really running back needy teams as
Yeah.
well.
But also, I mean,
Denver, I think, could
Actually, Denver's a good shout as well. Yeah.
Denver
Yeah.
and the Raiders and the Bears because we know Ben Johnson likes 2.
Yeah.
So that's 3 already. But
yeah, there's quite a few.
also you mentioned like Saquon and Derrick Henry. They are elite
They're
talent.
unicorns.
oh yeah,
Yeah, they're unicorns.
that's cheating. They've got a horn.
Yeah, exactly. I think the thing is where you got
I've got the horn.
depth at a position, if you're a team, you can afford to kind of not pick that, just not take that position as your first pick because you know you're going to get someone decent in the 2nd or 3rd round. It's the positions where there isn't a lot of depth. And we mentioned linebacker. If you're desperate for a linebacker, you're taking the linebacker with your first pick. You're going to get quality.
I think it's going to be one of those drafts where people will mention less about value because I think you just pick the guy you like.
Yeah.
Is there?
Can we record the soundbite of me and John getting angry at what the Giants have done now?
Yeah. No, I think the Giants will be all right.
Sanders.
Surely not.
I
In what world do we have to live in when those top 3 picks are quarterbacks?
Oh God! I throw myself off a bridge.
Because it sort of feels like the Browns could fuck it up, but if the Giants fuck it up,
if
because you then passed on Hunter and Carter,
Yeah,
I'd
that I
still
would-
be laughing a week later.
we're driving to Bristol and I'm jumping off the suspension bridge.
It's a closer bridge, just east side of London.
I know, but I like the aesthetic.
It's a good view on the way down.
And because I've been disappointed by this team so many times. I don't think I can. This has been the best week of my for ages. I watched WrestleMania,
Leeds.
done this. Leeds got promoted. Honestly, I've had a great time.
So
This
you know they're going to fuck it.
I am 80% less full of anxiety than I was on Saturday alone. Like, I'm a nice person this week. Don't ruin this, please, Giants. Please. Please.
Can we have you on a Zoom call if we're not going to be in the room together?
I'll come over on
I'll
Thursday.
come over as well, I think.
I'll come over.
Oh yeah, come over. Yeah, feel free. Everyone pile around. I'll definitely let Amy know. That'll be fine.
Could you take the equipment? Because I'd love to hear a live reaction.
do bring your equipment. Before we go, 49ers fans, Gary and Jim, who do you want? Who do you want from the first round? What do you want to walk away with? What will you be happy with at 5 a.m?
Travis Hunter.
Realistically, what do you want for the Niners?
I don't mind the pick that Paul made.
Mike Green.
Edge at Mike Green.
It's got to be defense, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's either defense or it's offensive line. So I've seen Will Johnson mocked there quite a lot. I'd be happy with that. I would also be happy if they picked up the best defensive lineman, knowing that Trent Williams is older.
I am fed up with our secondary being fucking shit, if I'm honest. Like, no matter how good we've been, the secondary has been poor the whole time. So
if Will Johnson was there,
I would say Will Johnson, if I'm honest.
either of those safeties.
We just need.
Emanwari.
Yeah, either of those two safeties.
Obviously, we haven't done much well in this off season.
we haven't done much.
Well, that's what I mean. So it's very hard to understand the plan at the moment. So I'm looking forward to understanding.
To be fair,
John Lynch's plan, and I trust him, but I want to see it.
Trading back and getting one of those two safeties, I'd be all right with that as well.
And who do you think is the most likely team to try and jump up in this draft?
The 49ers.
No.
I think maybe the Bears or... Yeah, I can see the Bears, the Raiders.
The Bears really love Ashton Genty. Then they need to get ahead of the Raiders.
Yeah.
I wonder if the Raiders will be trying to get ahead of the Jags.
Yeah.
Because they want Genty.
But the Jags, every single mock draft I've seen has got Mason Graham going.
No, they've slowly...
They'll take Genty.
They'll take Genty. I think it's because of
You're
Cohen.
absolutely right. Up until probably this week.
Yeah, this week.
It's been... Mason Graham. The whole time.
It'll be Genty if he's there.
The last couple of days...
You've still got Walker. Like, if you got Walker, you don't really need Graham. You could just use Trayvon Walker.
Yeah.
Genty is a transformational player if they get him right, and Cohen can probably get him right.
You look at the top of this draft with Hunter and Carter. They're the two generational players.
Yeah.
Consensus. I don't think Ashton Genty is too far off that group.
Oh, I absolutely think he's an immediate impact player. I really do. He just looks amazing. Right. Anything else before I bring us to a close?
No, I think the fridge has given up.
I was going to say, the fans kicked in on the fridge. It never wants to draft another player again.
Yeah, let's go home.
Right. Thank you very much for listening to the Snap UK podcast 2025 mock draft.